If you have plants at home, they are probably already being attacked right now. Yes, right now, even if they look green, even if they look healthy. Because when you notice the problem, it is already too late. Pests do not start on the leaves. They start invisible. First come the eggs, then the microscopic suckers, then the plant loses strength. And then you think, out of nowhere my plant died. It did not die out of nowhere. It was slowly drained. Today I'm going to show you a method that eliminates mealybugs, aphids, flies and caterpillars in seconds. Without poison, without strong smell, and using something you already have inside your home. And after you understand this, you will never buy insecticide again. Small insects do not breathe like we do. They do not have lungs, nor do they pull air through the nose. Gas exchange happens directly through the surface of the body, through invisible micro-openings called spiracles. It is as if their entire body were a door to the environment. And that is exactly where the secret lies. The body of these insects is protected by a very thin layer, almost imperceptible, formed by natural waxes. This film works like a shield. It keeps moisture inside the insect and prevents it from dehydrating. As long as this barrier exists, the insect survives even when exposed to sun, wind and temperature variation. But when a specific substance comes into contact with this surface, it dissolves this protective film. It does not burn, it does not poison, it does not intoxicate, it simply removes the protection. Without protection, the body begins to lose water quickly to the environment. Gas exchange becomes unregulated, the internal balance disappears. In a few seconds, the insect can no longer maintain its vital functions. The process is fast precisely because it is physical, not chemical. It does not depend on being ingested. It does not depend on blood circulation. It does not depend on cumulative dose. It is direct contact, touched, reacted. That is why it works so well against small pests like aphids, mealybugs and whiteflies, organisms with delicate bodies and exposed surfaces. Larger insects can resist longer. But the suckers, which live stuck to the leaves, are extremely sensitive. And here is the most important point. Because it is not a systemic poison, it does not enter the plant sap, it does not contaminate the soil, and it does not remain active for days. It only acts at the moment of contact. That is why this method has been used for decades by farmers who cultivate in a more natural way. They do not kill the plant to save the plant. They simply remove what is sucking its energy. It is simple, it is mechanical, and that is why it is efficient. Let's go step by step. You will only need 500 milliliters of water, 1.5 tablespoons of common laundry powder soap. That's it, nothing else. No alcohol, no oil, no mystery. Correct preparation. Put the water in a container. Now add the soap, and here is an important detail. Mix well, really well, for about 1 minute. The water needs to become slightly milky. Then strain it and put it in a spray bottle. Done. You have just prepared a professional insecticide. How to apply? The 12SECOND secret. Never apply under strong sun. Use early in the morning or late afternoon. Now comes the mistake that makes many people say it does not work. They spray only on top. The pests stay under the leaves. Always start from bottom to top. Wet. Underside of the leaves. Stems. New shoots. Hidden spots. When it touches the insect, the countdown begins. In about 12 seconds, it loses the ability to remain on the plant. You can actually see it happen. Infestation does not happen all at once. It comes in waves. There are the adults you see, the eggs you do not see, and the newborns that appear later. That is why a single application almost never truly solves the problem. The correct process works like this. Today, eliminates the adults. You cut the active population. The pests immediately stop sucking the sap. 3 days, eliminates the newborns. The eggs that were hidden hatch. But now they find the environment prepared, and they do not survive. Another 3 days, eliminates the last generation. It closes the cycle. Without adults to reproduce and without offspring to grow, the colony collapses. 3 applications, no excess, no exaggeration, end of infestation. What you will notice, the result does not appear only in the insects. It appears in the plant. First day. The leaves stop getting worse, no new spots appear, the plant stops suffering. Third day. Firmer appearance, less wilting, color starting to return. 1 week. Plant practically clean, no white spots, no colonies on the stems. 2 weeks. New shoots appear, greener leaves, growth resumed. This happens because the plant stops spending energy defending itself and goes back to investing in growth. It is not temporary makeup. It is not cosmetic effect. It It is a real recovery. This method does not act on only one specific insect. It works because it acts on the basic structure of the body of small invaders. And almost all of them depend on the same type of external protection to survive. That is why you notice results in several cases at the same time. Mealybugs, those cotton balls, stuck to the stems disappear and stop returning. Aphids, entire colonies at the tips of shoots vanish quickly. Whiteflies, they stop taking flight when you move the plant. Small caterpillars, they stop chewing new leaves. Mites, it reduces that dull and speckled appearance on the leaves. Thrips, silver spots and deformities decrease. The reason is simple. All these pests depend on a microscopic protective layer on their bodies. When it stops working, the environment stops being habitable for them. It is not specific, it is structural. That is why the result tends to be broad. Important tips. For the effect to be complete, some care makes a big difference. Do not wash after applying, let it act naturally. Reapply after 3 days to break the cycle. More sensitive plants, dilute a little more before the first application. You can store the mixture for up to 15 days in a closed place away from sunlight. Following these simple details, you do not just reduce, you end the infestation. Most people lose plants for a simple reason: it is not lack of care, it is the wrong strategy. They try to attack with stronger and stronger products, more expensive and more aggressive. The plant suffers, the soil weakens, and the pests always come back. Because the fight is focused on killing, when the correct approach is preventing survival. An insect does not need much to exist. It only needs a possible environment. When you change that environment, the cycle breaks by itself. Today you learned something powerful. It is not about strength, it is not about quantity, it is not about soaking the plant with product. It is about mechanism. It is about understanding how nature works, and acting exactly there. Do the test today. Observe tomorrow. Notice the small details. The leaves stopping getting worse, the cleaner surface, the plant breathing again. In a few days, the appearance changes. In a few weeks, growth returns. And then you notice something curious. The plant was never weak, it was only being silently drained. When the problem disappears, vitality appears by itself. You did not save the plant, you just restored the right environment. And now that you understand the process, you will hardly lose another one the same way. The problem was never the plant. It was the method, and now you have the right one.